Hello and welcome to the NBA Outlet presented by OTGBasketball.com. I'm your host, Nick Fay. With me today, no Corey, but special guest, Evan Dyal. What's up, Evan?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are we doing today?
I know you're doing better than me, Evan. You just got back from Summer League on Saturday, and I know it was probably a great time, and we're going to ask you a ton of questions about that. But before we get started, just a quick reminder, you can check out the NBA Outlet on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, OTGBasketball.com, Google Play, and Dash Radio. But, Evan, how fun was Summer League? Is it what everyone needs to go? Is it as amazing as it sounds?
It is. It's an awesome experience, and if you're an NBA nerd like we are and everyone on NBA Twitter, I highly recommend it. You get to meet a lot of people that you probably have interacted with on Twitter before, so it's great for networking. Obviously, just being in Las Vegas alone, it's fun. There's tons of options, things to do, all that. And then it's at UNLV. It's not too far from the Strip. You get to see tons of games back to back to back. Tons of people from the industry are there, from GMs, media people, coaches, and it's all kind of relaxed. It's great. I recommend it.
What do you think was the coolest aspect of being there? Like, what was the best thing?
I would say the best thing is, just everyone really has their guard. Like, players walked right past you. I saw Zach Lowe was there, and Woj is just like right there, and just everyone. I guess you kind of get a little more access than maybe you normally. Anywhere else, and just to be that up close, I think was the coolest part.
Yeah, it's like more personal. Like, you get to interact with these guys and remember that they're not just like Twitter accounts; they're actually people, and you get to see them up close. It's pretty cool. I know, like, a lot of people are saying they got to see the players walk by and stuff like that. And I know you mentioned it felt like really relaxed. Like, it was really like everybody had their guard down. Like,
yes, for sure. And it was like, yeah, it's turning Twitter accounts into human beings, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Who was the coolest person you met, or like the person that you kind of look up to, or somebody that you saw, you're like, wow, like I actually seen this person. Obviously, you mentioned Woj and Zach Lowe, two of the biggest names in the NBA world.
Yeah, when I saw Zach Lowe at first, that was a little bit of a starstruck moment for sure. That was crazy, and obviously for a lot of us, he's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a writer. And then he came in just for like a few minutes to our classroom and said a few words, so that was cool. But also for me, as you know, I'm a Hornets fan. I also met Rich Cho, the former GM.
Cool.
And got to talk to him a bit, and that was very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, meeting anybody in the industry, anybody in the front office, even like interns at some point is kind of cool to meet. Tell us a little bit about, I know you said you're in the classroom, you did a sports business classroom. What was that like?
So it's hosted by Larry Kuhn, who's a salary cap guru expert, created the FAQ for salary cap questions, and it's probably about 60 people, and he brings in all sorts of speakers from the industry, either from the media side, people in basketball operations, even GMs. Daryl Morey spoke to us, which was cool. And you can find out more about scouting, salary cap, the media side, broadcasting, digital content, all of that. So it was well versed. You meet a lot of people, great for networking. Highly recommend it.
What do you think you took away the most from the classroom? Like, what was the biggest thing you learned from that week?
I would say my biggest takeaway is, especially as a writer, is to try to understand the reasoning behind moves more before you say something is stupid.
Yeah.
And, just try to understand that these people aren't as dumb as we think. They may not also be as smart as we think, but just try to, always at least make sure that there is usually some reason behind every single deal.
Yeah, kind of look at it from every perspective. Sometimes it might not make sense on the court. It might come from the ownership where, they want to cut salary, get under the luxury tax or something like that. It might not sound great as a fan, but it might be the right move.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, and obviously owners, and there's a lot that goes into decision making for sure.
Who was the most impressive player you saw on the court? Obviously, you didn't get to go to every single game, but just in your personal experience, what guy really stuck out to you?
A couple players. Wendell Carter on the Bulls definitely looks advanced and just way beyond, rookies, it's such a steep learning curve, but he's definitely ahead of the curve for sure. And then the Knicks, man, they got a steal in Mitchell Robinson. That guy is a beast, and his defensive potential is ridiculous. I mean, he hadn't played basketball in a year, and he was dominating. I think he also ended up leading the summer league in dunks. I mean, that dude's
I
impressive.
think he was pretty high on the blocks list too, I believe.
Yeah, he was blocking everything and just switching on to point guards at the same time too. I think the Knicks got, which I don't know the last time the Knicks got a steal, but
Yeah.
I think they finally did. He was good, and then you just see the difference in players who played in the league second and third year. Josh Hart dominated. Even Wayne Selden on the Grizzlies was playing really well. Willie Hernan-Gomez from my Hornets. You just see how much having a year or two in the NBA. I mean, those guys were just so much better than the other competition.
Who do you think struggled? Like, who is the least impressive that you kind of were hoping was going to have a big summer league and they just really didn't step up?
Well, in terms of like the big, I mean, there was some like Bagley got hurt, which is a bummer. DeAndre Ayton didn't dominate, I don't think, as much as people thought, and there was you kind of saw some defensive issues, but he was also playing with bad teammates. But then I think the more disappointing players is the second league guys, second year guys who kind of want to dominate, like Josh Jackson on the Suns was pretty bad, which was concerning since he finished this year strong last year. Like he took some horrible shots, like just ridiculous. But you kind of have to learn to realize summer league's a whole different environment than actual basketball because people are looking more out for themselves and the team.
Yeah.
But there were a couple second year disappointments for sure.
And I think the guard play, like one thing I noticed just watching at home is, the guard play sometimes is so bad that it hurts the bigs or the wings or somebody who can't
Yes.
really create for themselves. When you don't have a point guard that can get you the ball in the post or something, it seems like it's a real struggle.
Right. That's why I didn't want to beat up on Aiden too much because like a lot of guards struggled with like simple entry passes. You
Yeah,
know,
in some games were just tough to watch in general. Like the passing was just atrocious and the turnovers were all over the place.
oh my God, yeah, you'll see a ton, and the shot selection is like absurd compared to an NBA game.
Yeah. Like you said, there's players out there kind of looking for that for themselves, trying to get a training camp invite, a G League invite, or maybe sign an NBA contract. Would you say everybody really needs to go to summer league at least one time if you're an NBA writer aspiring to work in NBA front office or something?
Yes, for sure. Because I mean, the summer league, it's becoming more prominent every year. Like obviously, ESPN broadcast game now. I think they've only started doing that the past couple years.
It felt like
Um,
there was multiple games on every single day, and actually on TV, not just streaming wise too.
Yeah, ESPN and NBA TV. And so when it gets more nationwide attention, that means more people from the industry are going to be there. You'll guarantee meet some other, if you're a big Twitter person, you'll guarantee meet other, people you follow or you like or you write. So I think it's definitely something to do once. And everyone should do Las Vegas once anyway, too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I definitely know next year I have to do whatever I can to get out there. I was sitting home just jealous. I seen everybody out there tweeting their pictures or whatnot. But anything else, Evan, you think people need to know about Summer League that they don't necessarily get to see on Twitter or on TV?
I just you get a fair amount of access, like you get really close to the court. You can see a lot of players up. I mean, one day Devin Booker walked right by me. I mean, like it was kind of crazy.
Hey, I mean, there was a lot of stars. I could be imagine, you see LeBron walking in, and you're like, well, you don't even know what to do.
Exactly like that. And then just being close, like, I walked Mo Bamba. That guy is freaking enormous.
Who was the yeah, actually that's one more question before we get out of here. Who was the most like impressive person you saw in person that you didn't expect to be like as big or as brolic or or as short or as skinny? Like what guy stuck out to you physically?
Well, Mo Bamba physically is definitely impressive, but I would say I expected that. But his teammate Jonathan Isaac is almost as big as he is.
Damn. Yeah, I heard Isaac put in a lot of work this summer too.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot stronger, and his arms, I think, can touch his feet. I mean, they are long, and he has to be a legit 6'10", and I mean, people think he might play some three, and if you do that, I mean, to have those measurables at that position is, if he figures it out, he could be a wow.
Yeah, I mean, they could link arms, him and Bamba, and they're pretty much covering the whole paint.
Exactly.
You know what I
Magic will
mean?
be bad, but they have some length this year.
Yeah, I mean, if the Magic could get a point guard, it would be big for the development of some of these guys, but we'll see what happens with them. But Evan, big thanks to you for doing this little interview about Summer League. And like I said, I think everybody needs to get out there, myself included. So hopefully next year I'm giving you a podcast out from Summer League. And again, thanks, Evan, and thank everybody for listening. Check us out on iTunes, Blog Talk, Google Play, YouTube, Dash Radio, and OTGbasketball.com.